Yeah. Look. When my skin hit the spotlight.
Welcome to the Rise in Silence podcast. I'm here as your host, Taylon Litzy, with my boy Ryan Meed.
Yes, sir.
Super excited to have him on here. This is my brother, man. Like, he already knows for life. We played football at the University of Illinois together. He's from Brooklyn, East Coast, so we got the vibes. You know how it goes. But I'm just super excited to be here, bro.
Yes,
Super
sir,
excited to be able
bro.
to do
Thank you
this.
for having me, man. It's just,
Most
it's a
definitely.
very, it's a beautiful thing, but it's also really surreal. Just kind of
Yeah.
see everything, kind of come together like this and the culmination of it. So,
Yeah.
huge blessing. Huge
Appreciate it,
blessing.
bro. Appreciate
you,
it.
man.
Nah, man, it's crazy. Just like the guests don't know, but like we were just saying, Busch Gardens talking about how we're trying to build things together. You know what I mean? And so
Literally.
eventually, somehow we gonna loop you in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know me, man. I'm down.
Yeah, just let you finish your football career, and then we
Most
definitely
def.
gonna make that happen.
Hey, you know me, man.
Yeah,
To
for
the
sure.
to the end of the line, bro. End
For
of the
sure.
line.
So first
excited.
question I got for you, bro, is just how'd you get your start playing football?
It's actually kind of a funny story. So, I'm from Brooklyn, right? And football's not really like the biggest thing there, right? But I have an older brother, right? And I love my older brother to death, man. He's a huge role model for me. He's been a role model my whole life. But he played baseball, right? So like I would always go. My mom would always have to drag me to his games, and he would have double headers and whatever. And I'll just, be sitting and I'll be waiting, and I'm like, you know what, man? Like, I kind of want my own thing, right? So then I tried baseball, like this kind of like the natural progression of it all. And I was like, all right, this is cool, but I think I want to hit someone. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, there was just like this disconnect where I was like, I think I kind of want to, like, why can't I run through you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just with a lot of begging and stuff, dude, I'm gonna talk about my mom a lot, so I'm just warning you now because my mom's
Yeah.
like my
Hey, no, I love
everything,
your
but-
mom. I love your
Yeah,
mom.
my
Hey,
mom. Since
we
she
love
was
you. We love you.
Yes, love you, mom. She was mad. She was geeked up when I told her about this too. So, but yeah, so I was begging my mom, and then she took me to the parade grounds in Brooklyn, and it was my first, my first practice with the Skyhawks, and then the rest was history. Yeah, man.
That's crazy. What position you started playing at?
So I was really a running back,
Okay.
which was crazy to think about, like knowing where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So I started off as a running back, and funny thing too. So like my 34, right? That's my number for the viewers out there. But so initially I was supposed to get number 25, but because I was a little bit bigger when I was a kid, I couldn't fit in the 25. I think the 25 was like a medium or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't fitting no medium. So they were like, well, we got a 34 and a large. And I was like, all right, I'll take it. And then shoot, the 34 is just like, that's just who I am now. That's my life. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. You want to explain? You want to explain why the number 34 is so important to you?
Yeah. So like, I'm big into numbers and things of that nature. And so my name is Ryan Paul Meed, and that's 3 names, and there's 4 letters in each name, so 34, 3 4s, 444. So I don't know, just that aspect of things adds to 7. That's always been like I've always had a real strong connection with that. It's my first number playing football, and it just kind of like became really honestly like who I was and like a big part of who I am. So, yeah, 34.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy that this happened to be episode 7. It wasn't
And
even
it's
playing out
episode
like
7,
that.
yeah. No, that's all God though. You know what I mean?
No,
That's,
for real,
that's not
for real.
me. Yeah,
All right,
pretty
so
cool.
how do you think growing up in Brooklyn kind of shapes you as a football player, but also who you are now today?
Bro, I attribute so much of who I am to the way I grew up, right? And like people think it's like, oh, the big city, you know what I mean, and everything, but like, dog, the experiences that I've had there, like just from struggling with my moms, you know what I'm saying, and my family, and trying to, just make ends meet, from that aspect of things to now you fast forward it to just understanding how to communicate with people, right? And just like how just different walks of life and different things like that you kind of interact with as you just you live there. It's remarkable, dude. It's remarkable, and I feel like definitely the reason why I am the way that I am, and the reason why I see life the way I see it, is because of my upbringing.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just like, it also makes you tough too. You know what I mean? Like you you can't be soft coming where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have something to you, but that something too, I feel like, kind of transcends into your mentality and lifestyle and everything. So like definitely, I attribute a lot of that from, my upbringing and also just kind of the environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, day one when I met you, you was just the vibes was there, bro. Like
100%.
you were always somebody that like mentally, we were kind of on that same level of like realizing you've been through something before I even talked to you. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of, you just felt the energy of like somebody that's determined. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get where I'm trying to get to. So with that being said, obviously I know like you walked on at the University of Illinois with me. So you came 2 years after I did? Yeah, 2 years after I did.
We're getting old.
Bro, so old, right?
Old.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I still remember the first conversation we had. We were talking about you were introducing yourself and you said you were from Brooklyn, and I told you my auntie was a teacher in Brooklyn, so I asked you about what school. Then found out you were walking on. So what was that journey like for you? Let's first talk about high school football. Get into coming from Brooklyn. That's an area that's more basketball focused. You really don't got a lot of football players that come from there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that part of it first, and then let's talk about the transition to now when you got to college and you walked on what that process was like.
So I mean, look, I'm not one to fabricate things or lie or whatever the case was. I was never the best, never was. I was never the fastest. I was never the strongest. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I was the smartest, right? I'll take that, but like, I definitely wasn't the best in any kind of way or facility, right? But one thing that like got me to where I was just my work ethic, right? My thing was this. I'm thinking like this. I'm looking at this dude, and this dude is, so in high school, my senior year of high school, this is kind of where I became like really, I stepped into who I was. I've always been kind of like a late bloomer, but I had a kid by the name of Dees Isaac. Shout out Dees. Goes to Penn State, plays defensive end, and shout out Lammy, he was a 4-star running back for us too. And shout out Lammy for sure. But, being around those guys, right? So it's like they got the stars, right? They got the offers. They got everything, right? These had like every offer I can you can freaking imagine. You know what I mean? But, one thing I just would like say to myself is like, okay, he's this, right? He's 6'5", whatever the case is, right? But I think I can outwork him. And so that kind of drove me to become like what I became, because it was just like, dude, I was just refusing to lose in that sense. Because everybody gets to a limit, right? Everyone gets to a point where they're like, yo, I can't go anymore. And it's like I trained myself over time to become comfortable at that point and being like, yo, I'm good here. Like I'm good here. I can I'm gonna live in this point so I can thrive in this point, so that when I take somebody to this point, they can't, you know what I'm saying? They can't go anymore.
They
and
gonna tap.
It's Khabib said it, and he was like saying something. He was like, I'm gonna take him to the deep ocean, and I'm gonna drown him. You know what I mean? And that kind of mentality of like, yo, I don't care what the circumstances, I don't care which, how athletic you are, I'm gonna take you to the deep ocean with me, and we're gonna see if you can, you know what I'm saying? Because I was born in that deep ocean. I lived in that deep ocean. I thrive in that deep ocean. So we're gonna see if you can swim. And that kind of ideology really propelled me. And then another thing too is I was always on top of my academics, right? And shout out my mom again. Can't shout her off, enough, but she was just like, make sure your books are correct. You know what I mean? So it's like, just going to extra tutoring, building relationships, networking, whatever the case is, right? But like being the best student that I could possibly be, because I knew that I was going to have to rely on that in some way, shape, or form. So like I would make sure that I was always on the honor roll, make sure that I was always in the best situation in the classroom, because I knew if the classroom took care of itself, everything else will just take care of itself on the side. And then turns out, into transitioning into my walk-on journey, that's what got me admitted to the school. You know what I mean? It's my academics. And they were like, oh, shoot, he can stand academically. And then, yeah. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, for sure,
Okay,
for sure.
good.
Now let's dive into when you got here. First off, what were your expectations when you came as a walk-on? Did you have any like, all right, this is what my journey is going to be like? Did you know anybody else that was a walk-on that kind of gave you some tips, or what was that like?
Dog, okay. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I had no idea what the heck I was walking into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I came August 1st, And so, like, that's, like, the biggest no-no in the world, dude. You come the day of camp, like, dude, you're out of your mind. And, like, I didn't know that. I'm a kid from Brooklyn, so, like, I'm back home. I'm, like, I don't really have access to a gym like that, so I'm running my butt off, you know what I'm saying, in the park, running miles, running sprints, whatever. Nothing I could have done at home could have prepared me for what I was walking into day one of camp. So, mind you...
Hold on. I got to pause you right there
Okay.
because people don't know, bruh.
No.
College football camp is almost like military basic training.
No, it's probably worse. It honestly is probably worse than basic training.
It's crazy.
It is the
It's
most,
crazy.
like, especially with, I'm not going to name names, but people that were here before.
Yes.
That was just the most extreme conditioning, mental conditioning that I've ever been through in my life.
Yeah, it's definitely, it breaks you down.
Yeah.
Dude. It tests to see if you really love this game or not.
For sure, bro, for sure. So I walk in, I'll never forget it, dude. I kiss my mom on the cheek at JFK, right? I get on a flight to Charlotte because you can't fly directly into Champaign. So I get on a flight to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte I fly to Champaign, right? I'm in a suit. I'm in a 3-piece suit because I'm like, yo, it's a business trip. I'm finna go here. I'm finna show what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show who I am. I'm from Brooklyn. Woo woo. I'm ready, dog. I get there, and it was. I'll tell you this. It was the first practice, like the very first. We don't even have pads on, gang. We don't have pads on. And it was Josh and Meter Bebe. Shout out Josh Bebe. You remember Josh Bebe? We're in a punt drill, and I'm the look team. He's on punt. He's playing tackle, dog. I can, when I tell you I can see this, like I can see it clear. When I tell you this kid, so I'm thinking we don't got pads on. I got my helmet on, whatever. This kid strikes me, and like when I tell you I was this close to falling, like that close to falling.
Because he did everything 100%. Yeah.
But not only that, he was just ripped out of his mind. Like he's a physical specimen.
Yeah.
Like still to this day, he probably, like, I would put money he could probably run a 4.5 still.
Yeah, probably.
But like without training. He sticks me, bro. Boom! And I stumble back and I just look and I'm like, yo, is that at the end? Is that like a line? That's a receiver. I say, yeah. Okay. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I'm in college football now.
Yeah.
All right. So that transition was really rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just doused in the fire. I was thrown right into the fire with it. But yeah, bro, like that's just, I mean, that's kind of like the theme, the commonality of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, you know, kind of diving straight first into it. But you know, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world, dude, because that just like back against the wall mentality. Like, yo, I gotta make something out of nothing right here. And
Yeah.
you know, I definitely feel like I definitely did that. So
Yeah.
But it was, bro, no joke walking in on campus.
Yeah, no, I believe it, bro, because, you know, obviously, you know, I've been through similar experiences, so.
You're in a whole different world, dude.
It's something different, man, especially walking on, like, nobody really prepares you for that. It's no way that anybody can prepare you for what you're about to go through, you know, and it's not, like, the mental taxing, like, the nobody likes to talk about the mental health part of it, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of things you go through mentally, you know, there's moments where you're going to be depressed and, like, you have to realize that you're more. That's where I think it's really important for people to realize they're more than athletes.
Can I touch on that real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, so, man, that was the biggest thing, too. And it's just like, you know, like, athletes out there, like, even just normal people, too, right? Like, in life, you're going to go through really hard stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just a part of life, right? And sometimes your mental is not going to be there. Bro, there's nothing wrong with going and seeking help and getting help and talking to people and trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that is completely okay, and that's, like, you're human, you know what I mean? And sometimes, especially in this profession, you know, we forget that we're kind of human, right? Because we're gladiators on the field, we're warriors on the field, and we're putting our bodies on line. But, like, dog, like, my freshman year and sophomore year, I was in some of the worst places in my life, you know what I mean? And, like, I have a wonderful support system back home. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my brother Nick Fody. Shout out my boy Jalil, like my brother Jalil, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But there was just a lot of moments, bro, like that. It's just like my mental was deteriorating, and it's like once that goes, everything else goes. You feel what I'm saying? So, like it was really kind of sobering, and it grew me up a lot because I was like, wow, like I really need to actually, you know, take care of my mental and make sure that I can, you know, be okay with everything that's going on aside from the physicality of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, I just had to. I had to
Yeah,
put that.
no,
I'm
for
really,
sure.
really
And I
passionate
remember
about
when we
that.
was in Busch Gardens, you were sharing with me a story where you actually called your mom crying.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And yeah.
She's probably laughing right now at this part because it was a lot. I was calling her a lot crying.
Yeah, no, bro, it's real because, like, I remember those moments, you know what I mean, where you're going through and it's like,
Jeez, bro.
it's almost, you hit moments where it's not, you almost want to quit, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much in you that you're like, I gave so much to this that you're like, I can't quit. But then in your mind, it's like, but why am I still doing this? You know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like I'm getting nothing in return, right? So, obviously, like, how did you keep pushing through that mentally? Like, that thought process when those doubts came, how did you refocus your mind and keep pushing through those?
So I think with that, it's like, it's very cliche, but it's like finding your why, right? And it's like I had to realize, like, like I'm doing this because, like, the way, this is my opinion, right? This is the way that I view things. Like, you can do stuff for yourself, right? But at a point, you become content, or you'll become okay. Like, you'll be like, you know what? I did it for me. I'm good, right? But when you're doing something for someone else, that's where the real motivation comes from. Bro, I'm not doing this stuff for me. I'm doing this for my mother. You feel what I'm saying? My mom gave me literally anything and everything that she could possibly give. When we were, we were broke and going through it, whatever the case was. She poured into me so much and gave literally, like, I could cry even just talking about it, bro. Like, she gave me everything, right? So it's like, how the heck could I quit on you right now when you gave me everything, every last drop that you had to make sure and put me in a position so I could be and live out my dream and be here. You feel what I mean? So it's like kind of like flipping perspective, right? And being like, yo, like, I understand that I'm going through something really hard right now, but this is like nothing compared to not only what my mom went through, what my family went through, but like what like the goal is. You feel what I'm saying? And the goal is to change my family's life, change my mom's life, put my mom in a house, make sure I could retire her. She don't got to work anymore. You know what I mean? So it's just like being able to, in those moments where you're tried the most, and a lot of it has to do with God as well. Like, and I'm a God-fearing man, and I'm a man of faith, but like being able to zoom out and say, you know what? I understand everything that's going on to me right now, like happening to me, but zooming out and seeing the bigger picture. Like, yo, I got to go through this right now to get to there,
Yeah.
So just perspective and knowing your why and kind of being grounded in, the why you're doing, the things you're doing.
For sure. Man, that's deep for real. That's deep for real, because it's you gotta have that to keep pushing through. Otherwise, like you said, eventually it's gonna run out, and you're gonna hit that moment of like, all right, I can just turn back. I'm doing this for me. I can just turn back. But like you said, you're doing it for your mama, so it's kind of, I can't look you in the face and say, hey, mama, I know you made all these sacrifices, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I can't tell you the amount of times that I wanted to just literally quit football, leave, like I'm talking about from Pop Warner to like now, bro. Like, there's been multiple moments like where I was like, bro, I can't do this, bro. Like, this is too much. I'm too stressed out. I'm hurting too bad, whatever the case is. And it was like, I would always get to my mom and I would try to have a conversation with my mom, and I just couldn't look her in her face and say, yo, I quit. I could never fathom doing that because of just understanding the sacrifice of what she's done for me. You know what I mean? And not only just her, bro, my grandmother, like my nana, like, bro, the amount that she's done for me, my papa, bro, like my aunt, my auntie, everybody, my whole family, like, you know what I mean? Like, the amount they poured into me and protected me and helped me through this whole journey, bro, like, I can never stop because of them. You know what I mean? No matter how down bad I am, no matter what the case is, like, back against the wall, I'm gonna go because, yo, I got them. And if I were to fail miserably, I fall back on them. You know what I mean? So, bro, it's blessings and blessings. But yeah, bro, you gotta know what you're fighting for, what you're gonna fight for. Yeah.
Most definitely. So, good news. All that work's paid off.
All the work paid
to
off.
To a degree. You know what I mean? We still got some stuff you trying to go accomplish,
100%.
but in the sense of you got put on scholarship. And that was an amazing moment, bro. And being your brother, man, like seeing that, like it was awesome. It was an awesome experience. But how did you feel in that moment, like when they called your name and said Ryan Meed, you on scholarship?
So I want to pull it back real quick. I remember when you got put on scholarship, and it was everyone kind of cleared out, and you're sitting there, you're crying, and I'm hugging you. I said, I told you, bro. I freaking told you, because this was like, I knew your moment was coming, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, just kind of, like, just feeling, like, dude, I remember I went back to the room, and I'm crying. Like, I got tears in my eyes.
Yeah, bro, I'm getting them right now thinking back. I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
Take our pro scholarship, Ma. Like, this is great, woo, woo. And it was just, like, this, like, really selfless thing, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I saw one of my brothers that, you know, grinded and worked and finally live out what he's been working for and dreaming for, right? Mm-hmm. And so, when it got to me, in my time, it was just, like, it was like a... like just a relief, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, for one, like it was just a beat, like it was a quick, because you got to get right back to work, just being a walk on, and especially too, it was it happened within season 2, so I had to get we're right back to game planning and whatever the case was, but yeah, bro, it was just like this moment where it was just like you're much further than you think. Like, look how far you've come. Right?
Yeah.
Like, smell the roses for a second. Like, wow, this is amazing. All glory to God. All power to God. God is so amazing. And then it's like, okay, boom, go. Like, right back to it. So it was the most amazing, most, like beautiful. I didn't even think it was real for a second. You have those moments, too, where you're like, is this, like, it's almost like an imposter syndrome. Like, is this really me?
Yeah.
Is this really going on? You know what I mean? But, dude, it was, like, I can't even express the amount, because it's just like the amount that you pour in and then the amount that you get back is like night and day, dude. So
Facts.
it was such an amazing moment, and I like shout out to all the walk-ons out there, man. Like I pray that everyone gets to experience that one time in their life, because dude, that's no joke, man.
Yeah,
no joke.
Bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I gotta share this story real quick. Because obviously my last game, just tell you like how much of a dog he is. Like, this is my brother. So we go into my last game January 2nd. And he's like, bro, I'm hurting. Like, I'm hurting. I'm like, hey, no matter what, I'm finishing this game now. So he like, hey, you know, we going to go out. We going to go to war. This is the last time we're going to war together. My man goes out, hits somebody, messes his shoulder up, gets up, smacks somebody else with the other shoulder, then walks off the field, can't play the rest of the game because he messed up his shoulder on the first hit. And then he on the field crying, looking at me like, I'm sorry I can't finish the game. I'm like, bro, you good. Like, you good, dog. But I had to share that because, like, people don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of relationship we got, though. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like,
when it comes to you, dog, I'm going to war.
It was crazy to me. I'm like, bro, you literally put it all on the line. You sit here crying and telling me like, bro, I'm sorry I can't play. I'm like, bro, you good. Damn, you was crying like a baby for real.
I'm gonna double down on that story, because this guy goes, don't worry, I got you. Next punt, I just see Tay come, bro, he just grabs this dude up, slams him. I said, man, I was crying. Bro, I had to, bro. I'm like, yo, that's my road dog, man.
Yeah,
like,
for real, bro.
Bro, that was a dope moment, man.
Yeah.
That made, man, I can't.
I'm saying, like, for the rest of our lives, we're gonna remember that.
Oh, for
you know
man, for sure.
I wish they had one of them pictures from them games so that we could take frame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that would. Yeah, I wish we were slacking on that. I'm not gonna lie. In that department, a lot going on, but
facts. Nah, that's crazy though, bro.
Actually, there's a picture.
We got a couple though.
There's one. No, the one in Wisconsin. That's hard. My favorite one. We were walking off the field talking.
Yeah.
But no, there is one. So I rap and roll the dude, right? So like I'm like in the process of doing it, so it looks like I'm on my back and everyone's on me. And then we just see Tay like this.
Yeah, about to come in and punch him. Yeah.
I'm like, who are you hitting? Who are you punching? Sorry, I just had to say that again. That was such a crazy picture.
Nah, facts. Yeah, I see that one. I definitely. Matter of fact, I got it. I think I just posted it recently on one of the videos I put out.
I know it's in the facility, forever immortalized. Do you know where we have the bowl games?
It's on there?
Yeah, you gotta look at it.
Stop.
I kid you not, dude.
I gotta go there.
It's freaking funny.
Yeah.
It's just me on the floor, and then you ready to like to Mike Tyson somebody. I'm like, what's going on, dude? I'm like, all right.
No, that's crazy, bro.
Ball out.
Yeah, you gotta try. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, like I want to transition. Just talk a little bit more about your personal life, obviously. One of the things that really intrigued me about you, I didn't find this out about till 2 years ago when Troy Pryor came to talk to us. Mm-hmm. You got a passion for acting.
Yeah, I do.
Where did that come from? I
don't know. I feel like my mom, like I always had like a very just creative and imaginative mind, right? And so I always kind of like think in like just really just kind of abstract kind of ways and thoughts, and you know what I mean. But it just, dude, shout out Nick again, my best friend, dude, my brother. He convinced me my 8th grade year to do the plays, right? And like I've been doing football my whole life, and it's like I can never like commit to a play, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, dude, it's your last year of middle school before we go off to high school. We're not going to the same high schools. Like, let's do this. And so I'm like, all right, fine. And so we did 2 plays. We did a small box play, which is of Mice and Men, with Miss Wilkinson, and it was freaking like the most like amazing fun time I had. Like I played George, he played Lenny, and like, you know, just like reviewing lines with him and like just kind of scratching another part of my brain, right? It was just the most like it was just the most fun I've had, you know what I mean, outside of playing ball, you know what I mean, and just kind of like figuring out this like new, you know, version of myself and new kind of identity, you know, that I had. And it was just like it was so dope, dude. It was so cool. And then transitioned after that play, we did a musical. We did Beauty and the Beast, and I played Gaston. So now it's like completely like polar opposite like characters, right? But dude, it was so freaking cool playing that, because it was like, dude, I was like so pushed out of my comfort zone. I was singing, I was dancing, like there was like routines, and after that I was just like, dude, like there's something to this. Like this is really awesome. And that's kind of where. But like before that, like I was big into like modeling, like when I was younger and stuff like that. My mom would put me through or whatever. But yeah, dude. So that's kind of where it like really materialized. And now definitely a venture I'm looking to go down. You know, maybe after football and all that stuff. But, you know, we got to see. You know. But, We'll see what's going on with that.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I want to see it for sure, because you know what I'm saying. I ain't got to see none in person, so. We got to make it happen for sure. We right here by Chicago, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Hit up one of the theaters, off season maybe.
No, I'm so, dude, watch a play, be in a play, whatever. Like,
so,
I'm so game. Yeah. So game.
No, that's what's up, man, for real. Like, I just can't wait to see what you continue to do in your future, because I know it's going to be bright, man.
I know you're going to be in it, so.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Eventually, we're going to
get rid
of
me now.
Yeah.
No, for sure. For sure, Tay. For sure, dog.
All right, so I got one more question for you, man.
What's up?
If you could give advice to either little Ryan, or if you could leave the viewers with one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
So this advice was given to me by a man that I greatly respect, a father figure of mine, like a mentor, just kind of everything in one, and also a coach. But it was to submit, invest, and believe. Submit yourself to the process. Now that's whatever process, whether it be like, you know, your work or, you know, football or golf or whatever it is, right? Submit yourself completely to the process, right? Invest in the process. So invest yourself entirely in this process without the guarantees of success. People are not willing to do that.
That's deep.
You know what I mean? Like, without, like, you can't invest, like, people cannot foresee themselves investing in something without the guarantee of them getting something back. So if you really want to be successful, you have to invest without the guarantee of success. I don't know if I'm gonna get something back, but I'm gonna pour everything I have into this, because now that leads me to my third point, believe. Because I believe that the outcome that I want is going to come from it. So submit, invest, believe. And if you can apply that to anything, you can really apply that to anything. But if you apply that to your job, if you apply that to, you know what I'm saying, freaking arts and crafts, whatever it is, you know what I mean, you're going to find success on the other end of it. And that's something that's kind of guided me. And then another thing is, too, once again, from the same person, love God and love people. And I can't stress that enough, dude. Like, you love God, you love people, dude, your life will take care of itself. You know what I mean? I'm big into, you know, for people that are not necessarily religious, maybe spiritual, or just believe in energies, whatever the case is, like, you know, you put out love, no matter if it's a stranger, no matter if you just met him, whatever it is, no matter if it's Jonathan behind the camera, like, you know what I mean? Love that guy. Love him up, right? Because we're here to love. You know, I'm not here to beef with you. I'm not here to hate. Show love, bro. Pour love into the universe And I promise you it's going to be boatloads of love, boatloads of just happiness and positivity and good vibes back to you. You know what I mean? And then love God too, because, you know, and in my belief, and respect everyone else's, but God's the center of everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whether it be, you know, relationships or football or family or whatever it is, God's at the center of it, right? Mm-hmm. You love God, proclaim God's word out loud, and, you know, love God, and dude, and you're going to put yourself on the right path and the right track to go and be where you want to be. And don't get me wrong, I'm a sinner. I've messed up. I can't tell you the amount of times within relationships, within football, within just life in general. But we're imperfect creatures, so we're supposed to mess up, mm-hmm. right? But it's not about the mess up; it's about how you bounce back. Mm-hmm. So, in closing, I guess then it would be submit, invest, believe, and love people and love God, and everything else will kind of take care of itself.
For sure, those two great pieces of advice right there, bro.
That's me, man.
Like, I'm sitting here. I'm not gonna lie, getting chills just listening to that.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you.
Of course, dog.
Love you, dog.
I love you more, family.
Having you on, man.
Hey, bro. To the end of the road, bro. To the end of the road, bro. End of the line. I can't wait, dog. And if you haven't bought your Rise apparel, buy it now. That's my plug for you. That was a nice plug, right?
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Boom.